Hello, Rowan Mithril here once again, and it's time to start up the Mega Man 6 Fortress Stage Perfect runs. So, onwards to Mr. X's castle, which, for some reason, has Mario warp pipes around it. Oh well. Anyway, they call this place Mr. X's castle, and I guess it kinda qualifies as a techno castle of sorts. To me, it's always looked like some sort of multimedia high-rise or something. Anyway, I really like the music in these stages. The cannon enemies are simple enough to deal with. Just wait for that first lob shot, and once they raise their shields, layer on the shots. No problem. The spine analogs are a bit weird in their movement, so be careful getting around them. And now we have what these stages really love to do. Forced utility use. I guess it's fair enough. I mean, these particular utilities, they don't have a built-in energy meter that gets depleted. You can basically use them whenever you want. So, dog mode, activate! Kinda sad, though. It doesn't feel quite right calling this the assistance of a dog, even though technically it is. It feels more like the assistance of a suit. But anyway, we're going to be using them a lot. This room, though, we can get away without using one. This room, on the other hand, forces us to choose. Do we go toward the right and break that wall, or do we go up the ladder? Well, sadly for me, the power route is the one that requires less utility use. So we have to go that way. And it requires a very precise jump. But there we go. You have to be very careful that you don't jump into those spikes. But once you get in here, this path is a lot shorter than the other one. And also a lot easier. Far fewer enemies that we actually have to deal with here. Thankfully, you can kind of skip these cutscenes. And suspicious video game generosity is go. Yeah, 4 extra lives. For those wondering if that means we have a particularly difficult boss to deal with in here, well, not really. It's time to fight Rounder 2. As soon as this fight begins, be ready to move. The Rounders are vulnerable from the side, and gloriously, they have no invincibility frames. So you can just kind of layer on the shots and be done with this fight pretty quickly. Their movements are also very, very predictable. For example, I'm perfectly safe here. This one will never come anywhere near me, and, well, there we go. Yeah, Rounder 2 is pretty simple. But anyway, with that, Mr. X Stage 1 complete. So, time for a quick preview of where we're going to be going next time. And this is where we're going to pick it up in the next video. For now, outtakes. Enjoy! Now, getting over onto this path can do that, yeah. This path is a bit trickier to get onto, though. Yeah. I have a feeling I know where all the outtakes are going to be. This jump, though, seriously. Confetti for everyone. Getting through this jump, though, once again. The only problem is it's kind of tricky to get in here. Or you can just miss the jump completely. So close. Now, actually getting onto this path... Now, okay, that was silly enough to keep. So with that little parade of failure out of the way, it's time to check out the alternate path, and for that we're going to need quite a bit of use of the jet suit. The path is easy enough to get onto, but it is a longer one overall, with a lot more enemies to have to deal with as well. Here you just kind of want to hurry and ignore that particular caterpillar. But here you don't really have that luxury. You need to get rid of all these enemies and pretty quickly. And then we go this way. And honestly, you may as well just keep the jet suit equipped. They're going to make you use it quite a bit here. But then, I kind of like the jet suit, so no complaints from me. Though you can get a goodie here if you switch over to the power suit. And you get an E-tank. So, 4 extra lives or an E-tank. Your call. Come down here, avoid those spikes, one more screen down, and the paths meet up again. So basically your choice. A path that's shorter and easier but harder to get onto, or a path that's longer and more congested with enemies, but easier to get onto. Either way's valid. So, left to their own devices, Rounder 2 will never change their timing or pattern, but the power suit can force them to do so. Come on down, your turn. So, that's certainly an option. And so we have a foothold into Mr. X's castle high-rise tower thing. But it does present a bit of a poser. Thanks to the forced utility use, no matter which path you use, technically they're both valid choices for a perfect run. And yet there is one thing that I'd say definitely sets one path apart from the other. And so, this stage gets 2 ratings. I give Mr. X's Castle Stage 1 a 2 out of 10 for the power path, and a 1 out of 10 for the jet path. Hey, I didn't say they'd be high ratings, just that there'd be 2 of them. From watching the outtakes, it pretty much shows the one problematic part of this stage, and, well, it's optional. That one jump when taking the power path, making sure not to jump too high that you hit the spikes, but high enough that you don't fall off the bottom of the screen, it can be a little tricky. But still, it's just one tiny jump, one small little tiny thing in this entire stage. The rest isn't particularly a problem. The trickiest thing is probably just getting the timing right against the cannon pellers, but that's not so bad once you have the hang of fighting them. Rounder 2, meanwhile, is pretty dang easy. Very pattern-based to the point that you even see the track they're forced to follow. Even the points where they drop bombs, I think, is predetermined. Not so much based on where you are, but where they are. Thus, dealing with them is super easy. So that tiny little jump, that's pretty much it. It is a super precise jump, but it's the only one in the stage. It does make it harder than the jet path, but only just. The jet path, on the other hand, it's just a longer path with more enemies, but they're not really that hard to deal with, so the extra length barely factors in. So a 2 for power and a 1 for jet. With that, that's the end of this one, so thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed the vid, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well.